What if I told you the wealthiest person you know probably doesn't look rich at all? No flashy car, no designer clothes, no showing off on Instagram. In fact, they look completely ordinary. But while everyone else is broke and pretending to be rich, these people are rich and pretending to be broke. Today, I'm going to show you the 7 silent signs that someone has serious money. Signs most people completely miss. And here's the twist. Once you learn these signs, you'll start seeing them everywhere. I'm your host at the Yield Canvas, where we break down money in a way that actually makes sense. Let's get into it. Sign number 1 might surprise you. Sign 1, they drive boring cars. Sign number 1, they drive a Toyota Camry or a Honda Accord, maybe even a used one. Now you might be thinking, if I had money, I'd drive something nice. And that's exactly the trap. Here's what the data actually sees. A study of millionaires in the U.S. found that the most popular car among people worth over $1 million is a Toyota, not a BMW, not a Mercedes, a Toyota. Why? Because wealthy people understand something most people don't. A car is a depreciating asset. The moment you drive it off the lot, it loses value. The person driving the flashy car, they're probably making payments on it. The person in the Camry, they probably own it outright. Quietly wealthy people treat cars as transportation, not status symbols. Sign 2 is something almost everyone does, and it's costing them a fortune. Sign 2, they don't talk about money. Sign number 2, they never tell you how much they make. Think about it. Who talks about money the most? Usually the people who have the least. Quietly wealthy people don't post their salary. They don't tell you about their investments. They don't brag about their net worth. There's an old saying, empty vessels make the most noise. And in personal finance, that couldn't be more true. When someone is truly financially secure, they have nothing to prove. They're not looking for validation. They don't need you to be impressed. They're too busy actually building wealth to talk about building wealth. Think of the quietest person you know about money. Now think about the loudest. Which one do you think has more? Sign 3. They're obsessed with value, not price. Sign number 3. They ask, is this worth it? Not just how much is it? Here's what I mean. A broke person sees a $20 item and thinks, that's cheap, I'll buy it. A quietly wealthy person sees the same $20 item and asks, do I actually need this? Will this give me value? They're not cheap. They spend money, but they spend it intentionally. They'll happily pay $500 for a mattress that helps them sleep better, but they won't pay $10 for something they'll use once and throw away. The difference is awareness. Every dollar they spend is a conscious decision, not an impulse. Sign 4. They're always learning. Sign number 4. They read books. They listen to podcasts. They take courses. Here's a stat that always stops people. The average CEO reads 60 books a year. The average American reads less than 1. Wealthy people treat knowledge as an investment because it is. Every book they read, every concept they learn compounds over time just like money does. And here's what's wild. They don't just read about their industry. They read about psychology, history, science, and yes, personal finance. They understand that their ability to earn, save, and invest is directly tied to what they know. You will almost never find a quietly wealthy person who stopped learning. Sign 5 is probably the most counterintuitive one on this list. Most people think it means you're struggling. Sign 5. They live in modest homes. Sign number 5. Their house might not be what you expect. The classic image of wealth is a massive mansion, but quietly wealthy people often live in normal neighborhoods, sometimes in the same house they've owned for 20 years. Why? Because they understand that a home is only an asset if it works for you financially. A house that drains 50% of your income every month isn't wealth. It's a trap. Instead of upgrading their lifestyle every time they earn more, they keep their expenses stable and invest the difference. That gap between what they earn and what they spend, that's where wealth is actually built. Sign 6. They guard their time fiercely. Sign number 6. They say no a lot. Quietly wealthy people understand something that most people figure out too late. Time is the one resource you can never get back. Money lost can be earned again. Time lost is gone forever. So they're very intentional about who they spend time with, what meetings they take, what commitments they make. They're not rude about it, but they've learned that every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that actually moves them forward. If you know someone who's protective of their schedule and doesn't apologize for it, pay attention. That's often a sign. Sign 7. They're always investing, even small amounts. Sign number 7, and this one is the most important. Quietly wealthy people are always investing, even when the amounts seem small. They started before they were ready. They invested $50 a month when everyone else said it wasn't worth it. They put money in index funds when the market scared everyone else away. Because they understand compound interest, they know that $200 a month at a 10% annual return becomes over $400,000 in 35 years. They didn't get wealthy overnight. They got wealthy quietly, one consistent investment at a time. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait until they earn more. They start now, and they stay consistent. So there you have it. 7 signs someone is quietly, secretly wealthy. They drive normal cars. They don't talk about money. They obsess over value, not price. They never stop learning. They live below their means. They protect their time, and they invest consistently, quietly, and early. Here's the real question. How many of these signs do you have? Because the goal isn't to look wealthy. The goal is to actually become wealthy. If this video helped you see money differently, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel grow.